Hey y'all, so I'm back with another story time. I'm sorry I've been away for so long and I came back to almost like 100 subscribers. I was like hella hype, but I went to California to visit my family that came from Mexico, and I've just been busy with work. They sent me to another city, but I'm back. Today we have tacos. They're veggie tacos. I don't eat meat, so but it tastes like meat. And then I have plantains with crema. I've gotten this exact thing from this place before, and it's so good. It's called, okay, I don't remember what it's called, and it's probably best I don't tell you because this place has been gentrifying my neighborhood, but it's really good. Today's story time is actually about the time I got fired from Chase. It was actually this year. I lost my job around March of this year, but I started working for them in October of last year. And around this time is when I started being friends with the girl from my story where I said she beat me up. And she was like a borderline alcoholic. And I'm not trying to be mean either. She literally was. Most of our time we were drinking, and alcohol is kind of like a depressant. It can make you more depressed, and I think that's what it was doing. I think it was making me even more depressed than I already am. And the more depressed I got, the more I wanted to spend time with her. And the more I spent time with her, the more we drank. So it was kind of like an ongoing circle. And I'm not blaming her because I could have chosen not to drink, but I'm just saying. So I was a teller at Chase, and this branch in Texas is one of the busiest. It's one of the biggest and the busiest. So you go in and you don't stop working until you leave. And we close at 6, but we wouldn't end up leaving till close to 7. It was ridiculous. And the area we were in, it was not a very good area, so we had a lot of perverts and just disrespectful people that don't know how to act. I'm sure that's how it is in even rich neighborhoods, but these people were so rude. They expected so much from you. We had these new machines, these new ATMs, and they'd come in and be like, help me, come do this for me. Damn, like, not even a please, nothing. And I don't like teaching people things. I don't have the patience to teach people things. So I think my boss knew that I didn't like him, so he would make me be in the front where you have to help people, like outside. It's called an adopter. He would make me be out there and just help people all day, and I don't have the patience for that. But I still helped them because I had to. My boss didn't like me because I wasn't really like friendly with him. I wasn't rude. I just wasn't trying to be friends with him. I wasn't trying to be friends with anybody there. That's not what I come to work for. And he had told me one time, he was like, well, we're a team here and all this. And I'm like, well, I'm not really here to make friends, because it's the truth. And I think when I said that, he got like, that's when it went downhill, and he became kind of rude after that. Any little thing I would do, he would say something. I got in trouble one time because I didn't say please, because when you're helping the people, I was like, can I get you to insert the card? He pulled me aside afterwards. He was like, the way you're talking to people, I'm gonna need you to say please. And I was like, okay. But any little thing, it was just a problem. And I honestly tried to the most not to cause any problems, because I just didn't want to interact with anybody. I just tried to do my job the best I could and go home, get paid, go home. But it still wasn't enough because I wasn't friends. I wasn't buddy buddy with him the way the other little girls were. And then one time I wore my braids, the two braids, and they pulled me aside and told me, that's not really bank appropriate. Once they said that, I got kind of bothered because it's braids. It's not anything like, it's not anything else. I didn't understand. I was so miserable there. I started getting super depressed where I was like planning out my funeral type of stuff. I seen what I had in my savings and I told my sister, this is enough to cover my funeral. And that's when I knew that I needed to quit before I really end my life. So I put in my 2 weeks and I was just planning to live off my savings until I found a new job. And at first I was confident, like, oh, it's gonna be all right. And during my 2 weeks, I feel like my boss was trying to make my life even worse. Like, he would say something for everything. I had been wearing the same pants throughout the whole time I was working there, and he pulled me aside. He's like, you can't come in with those. They're too tight. First of all, they weren't too tight. It's just at the bottom, they're not loose the way slacks normally are, but they were slack material. And you see me wearing them the whole time. Why tell me something now? I wasn't about to buy new pants already when I was gonna quit. He just had his favorites because there was this one pregnant girl. She ended up having a baby, and then next week they're like, oh, you need to come in. And she even had told them like, hey, I kind of need at least like 2 weeks because I need to find a babysitter. And they're like, well, we need you the next week. We need you to come in. Like, it was a life and death situation. So during those last 2 weeks, he was like, are you sure you can make it to the end? Are you sure you're gonna be able to work right and all this? And I was like, yeah, I'll be able to work right once I just leave. And then it was already like the 3rd day into my last 2 weeks when he pulled me aside. He was like, I need you to come here. And I don't like when people do this, like I'm your kid. And I told him something. I was like, I don't like when you do that. And he was like, okay. Like, I was stupid for saying something. He ended up being like, you can't be talking to the police officer. We had a security guard on premises just because the branch was so large. And honestly, all my coworkers used to talk to the security guard when they were in my position, when they were working the same adopter thingy out there. All of them would have conversations with them. They would even sit down at the banker's desk and sit down and have whole conversations. Never been told anything. And I was just pissed. Bro, it's so boring out here. Like, I didn't tell him this, but it's so boring out there. What else am I supposed to do aside from helping people once I get done helping people? I can't really do anything else. And even while I'd be talking to the security guard, I would greet the customers coming in. I'd be like, hi, welcome to Chase. And, you know, they'd keep walking or whatever. So it's not like I was completely ignoring them. And he was like, yeah, well, we need you to look available as well. And I was like, okay. I wasn't trying to argue with them. Next day, I started talking to the security guard. He had told me something, and I was like, hey, I really can't talk. I don't want to get in trouble. And he was like, yeah, I can tell because the boss, he was literally right there just watching me have a conversation, just walking back and forth. And I'm like, dude, I do not like this. Like, I'm not a little child. And I wasn't even talking to this dude for long because I wanted to avoid all problems. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to walk away now. He was like, damn, is he trying to like be your man or something? Like, he should not be on your tip that much. Like, even the security guard noticed. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just walk away, dude. And I walked away. That day, I just did my job, avoided everything. As I was packing up to go or whatever, my boss was like, oh, come here. And I was like, I need to go because one of the girls was taking me home. And he was like, nope, I need you to come here. And just like that, all rude. And I was like, well, this should have been done earlier because I have to go. And he was like, I need you now. And I was like, ooh, man, I just wanted to beat the fuck out of him at that moment. He took me to the back and he started balancing my drawer, my teller jar. Everything checked out good. We were walking. I was walking ahead of him, and I didn't understand why he was balancing my drawer. But I was like, I don't care. I thought it was like he was auditing it, which is pretty normal. As I was opening the door to go, he pushed it closed, and I looked at him and I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, hold on. And I was like, I need to go. And he was like, hold on. I'm like, just being a dick. And he was like, do you know why I bounced your jar? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, we're letting you go of your position. You don't have to come in anymore. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I wish you the best. And I was like, okay. And then I just left. Like, I was just done with that establishment. Honestly, I remember even when I got hit by a car and I had to call in, like, I literally really got hit. And I was like, I can't come in the next day because I just couldn't come in. Shit, I got hit by a car. And they made a big deal like, oh, you missed a day. Like, bro, the establishment is gonna keep working without me. Y'all don't care. They even told me like, we have a business to run type of stuff. He had his little favorites, the girls he would flirt with or whatever. And honestly, like, I don't even know how he has a wife. He's so ugly inside and out. Like, who wants to marry you? Who even had kids with you? Who breeded with you? I finished most of my tacos. I have like a 1.5 left. I had 5. And my plantains. I got really full. I don't know why. I guess thinking about that story just, it frustrates me still. I'm just so glad I'm out of there. And I found a much better job. Even though afterwards I was like having trouble finding a job. It took me about 2 months. Yeah. And I was almost tempted to be like, damn, I missed my old job. But I was like, nope, it was for the best because I was depressed. And if I kept working there, I would have freaking killed myself. I curled my hair today and it doesn't even stay. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that story time. I'm gonna try to do more story times without eating, I guess, because somebody told me they like it without it. So maybe I'll switch it up. I'm gonna stay consistent, I promise, because I really like doing this. I like sharing my stories with y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy listening to them. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.